Hey, what's going on, guys? Johnny Cage here, aka Big Nerd of Big Nerds Cards. Want to do my prophecy deck list. All right, it's actually up for sale. Not really for trade. I might do half trade, half sale. Maybe if you got E-Dragons, just about complete. But I'm really only looking to sell. But this is the deck I will be taking a regional, so I'm actually asking for a little bit of advice on the side deck, maybe the main deck a little bit. I've been playing with it for a few weeks now, and every tournament I've played in it except for one, I've at least made the playoffs. No matter how big it was, whether it was 10 men, 20 men, 30 men, only one of them I didn't make the playoffs, and that's because I got sacked by 3 super polys within 2 turns, which was kind of crap. But anyway, here goes for the list, and I look forward to hearing what you guys think. Okay. All right, I run 3 Veilers. All right. This format, I can't say enough about them. All right, they win me a lot of games. A lot of times late game, I'll even just special one with my Judgment effect because I don't want them in the deck anymore. Synchro Summoning with Priestess gives a nice 8. Stardust Scrap if I'm scared, something like that. Has a lot of uses. 3 Priestess, obviously, boss of the deck. Enough said. 3 Magicians. All right. Again, no explanation necessary. Freaking searches anything and everything I want. Double Jowgen. I was running 1 Jowgen, 1 Kaiku in the main because of E-Dragons, but Kaiku's just better against every other deck. I think I said that right. Jowgen's better against every other deck. Kaiku is just kind of worthless unless I'm playing E-Dragon, so I side the Kaiku now. I can't say enough about this card. I used to hate it, now I love it. 1 Justice. I was running 2. Don't really need them. They kind of get dead after a while. I run the 1 in case if I'm playing a deck that doesn't special summon or I'm playing a deck that I'm not too scared of. I'll bring her out instead of Jowgen, banish it, and I'll add the Priestess and the Spellbook to my hand. 2 Chalices. I don't really like main decking this card, but with all these anti-meta bullcraps and everybody running T-Kings these days because they're scared of prophecies, I have to run this card. Because if T-King touches the field, this deck might as well quit. I also run it for the Ophion in case I have, Priestess in my hand. It even stops opponent's effects also. I've actually used it to where someone goes to attack over my Priestess with Ophion, and I Chalice, Priestess, and boom, I win that battle too. It comes in use, it has a lot of uses. Toon Gemini Elf. All right, she's really only in there for the Toon tables. All right. But I've actually used her as well, too. Every once in a while, I'll freaking just summon her and sit on her for a turn or two and then start, taking the cards out of your hand. That can lead to really good hand advantage when I'm always plussing and I'm making you -1. 3 Judgments. Don't care what anybody says. I got to give props to Sam Jones for telling me to run 3. Friggin', this card is awesome. When you open with this card and either Secrets, Magician, or tables, I got to say I win 85-90% of my games just with some sort of combo of that there. And it's even better if I open up this and 2 of those cards I just mentioned. It's awesome. I like opening this. I don't want to search for it. That's why I run 3. 2 Masters. All right, 3's dead. You got to have a spellbook, and you got to control a spellcaster to use it. So I only run 2. Copy anything, Eternities, Powers, Secrets, whatever you want to copy. All right. Eternity, Return Banished. Some people have been telling me to run 1. I like to stick with 2 for the build that I have because my build, I kind of stick around summoning Jowgen, trying to grab a Fate, and banish the first thing that you do. So I always want Eternity to bring those things back. 2 Powers, all right? 3 was just dead. All right, people kept telling me to run 3, but it's not really one of the essential spellbooks, even though it is because you want to pump up your monsters to get over stuff that's in your way. 3's just dead. Because if you draw these and no monsters, you're just kind of sitting on them until you get them. So I'd rather just have the 2. 2 seems to be fine. Only 1 tower. Again, some people say 2. 3's definitely way too much, but I stick with the 1 because most of the time, if I get my first turn build, second turn build, I don't grab this anyway. I'm grabbing for the other stuff first, and then this is kind of my later gameplay when I want to start recycling stuff after my spellbooks are all gone. So 1 seems to be fine. The only disadvantage to that is if they space it early and you don't have a good hand, then, shit happens. But for the most part, it does its job. Obviously, enough said. 3 secrets. Searches anything. Starts all the plays. Double Fate. Again, 3's dead because you have to control a spellcaster. You got to have cards to banish. But you want to have more than one because this card saves your ass in many situations. 2 Wisdoms. Protects all the spellcasters. I've been trying to think of ways to make room for a dress or two because I'm tired of my Jougins getting popped by Dark Worlds and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm not running any, but I am running the 2 Wisdoms for the spell traps. So people have a tough time getting over them. 1 Monster Reborn. 1 Wonder Wand. This is my little tech in there. It gets rid of a dead Gemini Elf if I don't have a good hand. It gives me that Magician kind of counter. If I can't get my other spell card, I play this. I get my 3rd counter, draw 2. Plus, it's a nice little boost. This and Power, makes Magician a 2,000. It makes Justice a friggin' 31. It comes in handy. 1 book, 1 life, and 1 day of peace. All right. You'll notice I'm not running any Dark Holes, any Heavy Storms. I'm tired of being Starlight Roaded, and with the way I run the deck, I don't need them. I've been thinking about putting Heavy Storm back in because I am tired of back row, but Dark Hole doesn't seem to really be needed because I can usually control the field. And if I'm not controlling the field, I'm probably losing anyway before I'm going to draw a Dark Hole. That's my justification. Feel free to hate if you want. All right, we'll go to the side deck first. Kaiku, it's in there for dragons. That's pretty much all I got for it. Any other kind of chaos deck, but you don't see too much of those nowadays because they're all mostly dead. 2 MSTs, okay. Any sort of heavy trap running deck or Fire Fists, things like that. I'll put the MSTs in, and I'll also throw in Royals. I know Trap Stun's been up in the air too. Yeah, Trap Stun's better because MST can't kill it, but Royal Decree's nicer because when my opponent runs like the macros and the Imperials, things like that, 1 lonely Trap Stun is not going to do it for a turn. My deck is not an OTK deck. It's a control, poke you to death deck. So I got to have the Royals over the Trap Stuns. 2 Shadows. Been debating on taking them out, though, because Inzectors aren't too popular anymore, and they don't really seem to touch Evil Swarms. Because it seems like every time I run these things against Evil Swarms, I don't draw them, and when I do draw them, it's against the Evil Swarm deck that goes into friggin' Sabersaurus. I don't know where my luck is with that, but I'm thinking about taking these out for something else. All right, 2 Overworks for the Fire Fist. Although I've been thinking about taking these out too, because Fire Fist isn't really that tough of a matchup. Plus, I already put in the MSTs and Royals for them if they run, because a lot of them run heavy traps. So I'm thinking about taking this out too, because the matchup I have against Fire Fist isn't really all that difficult. They're not they're good, but they're not that good against Prophecies. 2 Soul Drains. If I do take some of those out, I'll probably bump this back up to 3 because Mermills are still a deck. And it does help me shut down E-Dragons. I don't do Mind Drain because it would hurt me a little bit too with my Veilers and my Priestess. And Soul Drain stops them from bringing them back. So that's why I do that. 2 Gozens. Also, I can use them for Dragons, use them for Sams, any sort of deck that runs multiple attributes. Doesn't really hurt me too much because for the most part, I'm going with Jougin. Priestess, they're all lights. But my Magician, if I have to flip this up and have Magician and Jougin, of course I'm going to get rid of Magician. So I'm not too worried about that. And then I'm running 2 Cursed Seals. I just got my hand on Droll and Lockbird, so I'll probably be taking these out for those. Although this thing has come in handy. I've used it against heroes and, stopped E-Calls. Used it against Fire Kings and stopped the onslaughts and things like that. Evil Swarm stopped the pandemics. It comes in handy. It's pretty nice. But I'm thinking Droll and Lock is still going to be better for the mirror match. But we'll see what I go ahead and do with that. All right, extra deck. I can honestly say I don't use the extra deck ever. But this is what I got in here. 1 Armory Arm. Probably never going to use it, but every once in a while, you have a Veiler. You remove a Veiler to special your Magician. All of a sudden, you can have a 4. Maybe go into that. It doesn't come up often, but I got it. Shining Elf. All right. Have space in the deck. That's why I put it in there. If I have a couple Magicians on the field, boom, I'll bring him out. It's better to poking you for the 16 than a 5 and a 5. Flame Veil Eureka's. It doesn't happen often, like I said, but when you remove things to get that Veiler back and you can synchro summon, he actually would have came in handy the other day, and I wasn't running him, and I was actually only running 13 extra deck cards, so I put him in now for that reason. Catastor and Black Rose, same thing. You never know who you're going to reborn, who you're going to get back. You know, the life changes the levels of the monsters from what you banished to what you special summon, it gains that level. So that in combination with a Veiler, or do that with a Veiler in combination with my Magician, you never know what you're going to get. Gotchi, easy too, with double Magician, play some defense. Slack Magician, she used to come up more when I ran faders, but I don't run them anymore. But I actually did use her the other day when I brought a Veiler out with Judgment, and then the guy attacked my other stuff, and then I happened to top deck a Veiler, and I was in a crappy spot, so I went with Slacker. You know, she's not. I don't use her much, but she's in there because I have the spots to fill. Digusto, 2 Magicians makes that. It's nice to attack for 3,000 than it is for 1,000. Hierophant, don't use it often, but it is nice. If I'm just trying to get rid of all your back row because I'm scared of it, especially if I have a Wisdom in my hand, the only thing you can really do is negate this. And if you can negate my stuff, they're normally going to negate my Priestess and Priestess first before it lets me get to this. But I'll take care of it, you know. Priestess, destroy, go into this, destroy the rest, you know, type of thing. I'll do what I can. 1 Big Eye, don't use it much, but when I do, it's awesome. Wins me games. It's one of those main things. You know, when I get to steal one of your monsters, you think you're going to go against me, and then next thing you know, Prophecies bust out a Big Eye and take all your stuff. It's pretty nice. Gaia, don't use it much, but again, it's one of those Priestess combos, and then I just attack you for piercing if I want to. If it's going to be a game situation, I'll never use it just to use it. Scrap Dragon, Priestess combination with Veiler, pretty nice. Helps me get rid of dead cards. Stardust if I'm scared of your little lonely back row and I want to try to attack for game. Crimson, same thing, it's just kind of there. And a Utopia that I'll probably never ever use, but I got it anyway in there. Alright, that's my deck. That's what I'm taking to regionals. Alright, I gave you my little explanations on what I'm doing, what I got. This is what I got to work with. Look forward to hearing your feedback. All right, feel free to hate if you want to. You know, just know that I'm going to get you back if you do. All right, Johnny Cage, Big Nerds Cards. Team You Can't See Me. I'm signing out.